Hello, everyone, and welcome to my College Football 26 Colorado State Dynasty Series. We are rebuilding the Colorado State Rams, 1.5 star school. I think they finished with a 2-10 record in real life last season, so this will definitely be an uphill battle. I've done offline dynasties for Kennesaw State, Akron, UTEP, and UNLV, but I really wanted to pick a team that I've never used before on or offline. As far as the dynasty settings, Heisman difficulty, 5 minute quarters, might move it up to six down the road. We'll see what happens. For the purposes of this game, I did turn off the pre order bonus. I didn't want to make this a fast track process. It is very possible I regret that later, but obviously we're going to see what happens. I also turned off auto recruiting and auto progression. I want to be able to upgrade my players to my own preference and not leave it up to the CPU. I also did not customize the conferences at all. We're staying in the Mountain West Conference. In real life, I think the team is supposed to be moving to the Pac 12 next season, but we're leaving it as is for right now. In the Mountain West Conference, we're the second worst team besides the Wyoming Cowboys, so definitely an uphill battle within the conference itself. But, anyways, let's get into it. For the purposes of this game, we're going to be a recruiter. Obviously, we're not going to be starting with a great roster, as we'll see here in a second. So, want to make sure we're getting some new blood in, some better players in, some 3 and 4 stars, 4 stars, hopefully in sooner rather than later. So, we're definitely going to need to be a recruiter in order to do that. So we're going to go with the right to censor look for my coach. And we're going to keep the playbook, Colorado State, air raid offense, and the 4-2-5 for the defense. So without further ado, we have our coach, and always. Okay, so looking at our coach, and always in real life, I think they did have a 2-10 record last season, but it looks like the year before they had a better record, 8-5. So hopefully we can make an improvement on that. We have a 2-year contract, and our goal is to win 7 games. Let's see in a second if it's a possibility with this roster. Let's find out. All right, so looks like we have 10 points to start, and let's go to look at our roster just really to get a lay of the land as far as what we have at our disposal. So, off rip, we have Rocky Beers as our best tight end and probably best name on the team. Secondly, we have Jalen Dupree, freshman redshirt, 82 overall. Speed is decent, so he'll definitely be the anchor of our team on the run game. His deal breaker is a championship contender, so we will definitely have to win some games in order to keep him on the roster. We also have our senior edge rusher, Jacques Evans, 81 overall. As deal breaker isn't going to matter because he is a senior, so at least we have, solid foundation as far as edge rusher. Also have pretty decent speed linebacker, Owen Long, sophomore, and playing styles a C minus. So definitely something we're going to need to watch out for. We also have Lloyd Avant as our running back two, a little bit faster than Jalen Dupree. Pro potential is a deal breaker of a B, and we're at a C minus. So it's not looking great for our running back core whatsoever. And then lastly, as far as the 80 overalls, we have Aaron Karras. Again, deal breaker championship contender. We need a B, and we're at a D plus. So we definitely got to win some games there. So, looking at quarterback, we have Jackson Brousseau as our starter, 77 speed. So, his speed is, okay, could definitely be better. It looks like Darius Curry behind him is faster, younger, playing time grade. We'll definitely need to maintain there. Maybe depending on how things go, we might give Darius Curry a shot, especially with Jackson Brousseau having a championship contender deal breaker. Looks like Jackson Brousseau has a stronger arm. Short and medium accuracy is definitely better. Deep accuracy is moderately better than Darius Curry. Throw on the run is about the same. Throw under pressure, break sack ability. Definitely has Curry better there. Play action, Curry's our guy there. So who knows? We might let Curry might even make him starter. Let's give it a shot with Brousseau, but we could definitely make Curry our starter down the road depending on how things go. So, as far as our running backs are concerned, we're definitely solid as far as depth there. We have Jalen Dupree and Lloyd Avant. Might mix them both in, have a little bit of a timeshare at the running back position. Looks like Lloyd Avant is a little bit faster. If we go over, let's see who's the better pass catcher. So it looks like Lloyd Avant is definitely a better pass catcher. His short and medium route running is better. Again, they're not great pass catchers, but one is definitely better than the other. So definitely will mix in Lloyd Avant, make sure he's our third down running back. As far as wide receivers are concerned, we have Tommy Maher as our best of the bunch. Unfortunately, not very fast. His catching is pretty solid. His catch in traffic is 85, best on the team. His short route running is one of the best on the team. Medium route running is best on the team for sure. Deep route running has some people outpacing him, but he's definitely going to be our number one receiver for all intents and purposes. Yeah, we have some speed there, but Tommy Maher is definitely going to be our number one guy. Also have Levon Brown and Armani Winfield. Again, not the best, but we got some decent players here. Just lean on the speed of Antwi, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and go from there. Again, tight end, we have Rocky Beers as our number one for sure. Best overall player on the team, and will probably be leading the team in receptions. As far as rack yardage, probably not going to be our best bet, but at tight end, he'll be our security blanket for sure. Jackson Warren is our backup. Not very fast by any stretch of the imagination. Has a deal breaker for playing style. We'll definitely mix in a little bit, have a little bit of a rotation, but it also looks like Carlos Anaya is a little bit, actually decent amount faster, the fastest tight end on the team. So he might be our tight end too. We'll see what happens there. Offensive line, not great for the looks of it. Okay, our guards are pretty solid. So we have Tanner Morley and Alex Foster. Have some freshmen's behind them, and that said freshmen's plural. Excuse me. Centers, yeah, not great. Definitely, leaves a lot to be desired there. Right guard, we have William Wortman and not much else behind him. We definitely have a lot of future accountants on this roster, a lot of people who are going to be spending their time looking at spreadsheets instead of having their stats in spreadsheets. So, that's just the way things go over here at Colorado State. Edge rushers, not very fast. Sooner rather than later, we might work Whitefield Powell in. Again, got to win some games because championship contender is his deal breaker, and it looks like there's deal breakers for just about every single edge rusher besides Shank on this team. And then at right edge, we have Jock Evans. Kenyon, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Our, edge rushers just aren't very fast, unfortunately. Looks like Evans has some solid power moves, solid finesse moves. So, definitely unquestioned starter there. Mix in, our Gurs whenever we can. D tackle, not great. Strength is not that great for a pure power D tackle. Journeys Tafia, again, I'm probably pronouncing this incorrectly. Very strong, but as a senior, might want to just get some reps to the sophomore. Conference prestige, his deal breaker is about even. So just got to make sure we don't upgrade him and that people within the conference win games. Our Sam linebackers are not great at all, not fast at all. Mike, again, our linebacker core just isn't shaping up to be anything special here. Not fast. As far as our will linebackers, Owen Long, definitely the best of the bunch, really the best out of all of our linebackers for sure. But that playing style is definitely going to be something to monitor. Might transfer out. We'll see what happens. As far as corners, Jahari Rogers is fast, which is great, but as far as coverage abilities, we really don't have anybody special on this team. It's Jahari Rogers and the rest. Our two best corners are seniors, so we will definitely need to mix in some freshman recruits at this position. As far as safety is concerned, we have Dylan Phelps. Championship contender is his deal breaker. So, and again, we're probably going to have a lot of turnover after this first season. And as far as coverage abilities, again, not very great at all. Strong safety, we have Aiden Hector. Playing style doesn't matter because he's a senior. We're definitely going to need to mix in Nolan, make sure he has some solid playing time. He's probably, who knows, he might end up being the best strong safety on the roster next season, especially we have two juniors behind him that, we might ideally try to get some fresh blood in. Our kickers as far as power and accuracy. So it looks like Isaiah Hankins is pretty solid with the power. Not great with the accuracy, but as long as he has power, we'll work with that. And then there's at least a freshman. We at least have depth at kicker, which is obviously what matters most at the end of the day. This kicker is awful. He will be getting cut next season for sure. But nonetheless, we have punters, kick power at 85, kick accuracy at a 68. So definitely not great. I might honestly, yeah, I'll probably start Brian Hansen over him. So that's where we're at with the roster. Just looking in totality, a lot of dudes that are going to be updating their LinkedIn profile after this season. That's just the long and the short of it. We're going to need to, hit recruiting hard. Maybe try to land some 4 stars. I'm going to avoid 5 stars this season. I just really don't see them committing. I might be surprised, but this first season, definitely going to try to land a couple 4 stars, but 3 stars are going to be our North Star as far as Colorado State is concerned. So, as far as our coach is concerned, despite turning out the pre order bonus, we do start off with 10 points of XP to use. As far as where to use our points for recruiter, I definitely want to lean more towards linebackers. I think that's probably the weakest position of the bunch. I might regret not using it for a quarterback, but I really want to use these recruiting points to go after positions that we have, we can at least cover a lot of ground. So linebackers that covers, Sam, Mike, Will, as far as D line that covers D tackle and edge rusher. Don't really want to use it for quarterback because that's just one position. Running back, same deal here. Probably will never use recruiting points for kickers. So we're really going to lean early on to linebackers. And we probably won't do actual scouting. We'll see how the point total breakdown happens and the XP is allocated, but probably won't do a lot of scouting early. At this point, we just need numbers on the roster. It's if you're a 3 star, there's a solid chance that you're one of the best players on the team already. So we'll lean on that and then see what happens. So, recruiting, we have a standard 500 hours to use. And just taking a look at 4 stars, seeing what's available, anybody interested. And we do actually have an interested 4 star Amari Warren. Proximity to home is solid, very good pipeline boost. So, we're definitely going to use our first offer on him. And obviously, we're not going to scout because he's already one of the best players on our team. And then let's see what else we got here. I don't like sorting by recommended by any stretch of the imagination. Let's see if we can get other players that have a solid pipeline boost. We have Garrett Bloom, Signal Caller, Conference Prestige. Ugh, don't really like that deal breaker. I think that's too close to call, but he is the only other 4 star that has tier 3 pipeline. So we are gonna send that man a scholarship offer to come play at Colorado State. Anybody else here? Let's see. Let's try to go for at least some 4 stars that are within the pipeline. Let's try to shoot for, let's see, elusive route runner. You really don't like going after players with that close of a deal breaker. Could be anything that really, sends that haywire. So maybe not their conference prestige. Okay, looks like conference prestige is a deal breaker for a lot of these guys. We're gonna go with Adrian Loadholt, which is an odd name for sure. Proximity to home is a deal breaker. That's something that is actually manageable. So gonna throw the offer over at him. So see anybody else. Conference prestige. Yeah, all these players have conference prestige. Boundary playing time. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to at least put some points towards a quarterback. Then let's see anybody else playing time. Pocket passer playing time. We can try to go for a couple four-star quarterbacks. I know maybe that's not the most realistic, but we definitely need a quarterback for sure. Playing time, got that over here at Colorado State. And then anybody else for four-star? Yeah, playing time we can offer you here. Pure blocker. Okay, I mean, we're in the tier one pipelines now, so I really don't want to chance it with any of these guys. I think we have our a solid foundation of four stars to go after, so we can, we're definitely gonna need to send the house on these guys pretty heavily. So we don't want to go after too many four stars that we can't actually send the house on. So we're gonna give a scholarship offer to all these guys. Obviously, not using scouting because easily the best players on that aren't on our roster yet. So that covers it for four stars. So looking at three stars and sorting by interest, we have a vertical threat tight end and a receiver, gadget receiver interested, top four interest in our school, and the receiver has a pipeline boost, so we'll definitely throw some scholarships at him there. Pure possession, tight end, Jalen Bartell. So we've got a decent amount of guys that are at least interested in the school. Probably going to throw offers at all these guys that are interested. Again, we just need players. Can't really afford to be too picky here as far as the three stars. If they're interested, you got an opportunity to play. So gonna spotlight all these guys, just keeping an eye on targets. And too many receivers, we'll throw in another one in the mix. Pro potential, I'll take that chance there. Conference prestige, deal breakers decent. I'll definitely need to get some linebackers in here for sure. No, way too many tight ends. Okay, let's not get crazy. We definitely have more needs besides that. Vertical threat. Okay, we have plenty of pure possession athletes. Let's see, go after power rusher. Maybe you could move him to D tackle. We also have an interested D tackle here. Strong safeties are usually in limited supply in this game, so definitely want to go after some strong safeties early. Get another D tackle in the mix. Don't need to go after a kicker at all. Um, Definitely have plenty of receivers. Speed rushers. No, we definitely have plenty of edge rushers. We need to hit offensive line for sure. Can't really get too picky about scheme here at all. Let's try to sort by pipeline and get, at least fill in the numbers. So if we sort by pipeline, let's start with running backs. So playing time, it's a little too close to call north south blocker. I want no parts of that. Anybody with reasonable deal breakers? If not, I'm probably just gonna go with this C pipeline. Okay, proximity to home, we can kind of manage that. So I'll throw an offer for that guy. Um, and then if I mean we could worst case scenario, let's try to hit running back in the transfer portal. Those are pretty abundant. And then looking at tackles, we definitely need to get some offensive linemen on this roster. So sort by pipeline. Let's just throw offers at some of these guys right here. Playing time is pretty solid. We can control that. Conference prestige is a little too close to call. Let's get this guy some playing time for sure. And then let's try to mix in some guards. Playing time. And really not looking at scheme fit too much right now. We just need definitely just need players on the roster. So, we have our guard set up, and now we definitely need to spend the rest of our allocated scholarships on linebackers. Don't want to go after JUCO by any stretch of the imagination. Let's try to get some thumpers in there. See, playing style, deal breakers are a little close. Let's get one more. And then Mike, let's try to go after some no, okay, no, it's playing styles too close. Thumper, yeah, let's proximity to home. We can control that. So playing time, we can also control that, but we gotta mix in some corners here, so we'll leave that alone for right now. Corners last but not least. Try to get bump and run. Okay, we have a decent amount of bump and run corners that are at least within our tier two pipeline. So throw some offers to this guy. Bump and run, sure, he's interested. So let's throw caution to the wind here. And then we'll just throw scholarships at all these players. Really wish there was a fast and easier way to do this, but there never is. So I'm just button mashing X like my life depends on it. We'll probably use the rest of these points on scouting. Yep, so 325 hours left. We have 35 scholarships out, and let's do some scouting. So earlier, I did put 10 points of XP towards scouting linebackers quickly. It does also look like we're able to scout athlete pure possession players pretty quickly. So decent speed for Jalen Bartell, Spencer Jew as well, 83 and 84 speed. For Bartell, his catching traffic is at least decent to start. His route running is abysmal, but only so much we can do there. Spencer Juice, catching traffic is solid. His route running is better, but definitely not going to be great starting out. As far as our linebackers are concerned, Marquesson Bolin, 88 speed, can definitely work with that for sure. Jose Portilla, we did scout a gem, so definitely making sure, the good thing is that these two linebackers are already interested, so we'll definitely be high on the list as far as 3 stars for sure. And then Trayvon Eagles, the athlete East West playmaker, 90 speed, 90 acceleration will also be high on my list for sure. And then lastly, D'Angelo Lashley, not very fast, but 80 speed for a linebacker. That's a solid start. Zone coverage is at least decent. So, yeah, we're working with that. So, starting out with our schedule, we have Washington week 1. Not really optimistic about that. Washington's an 84 overall team. Denzel Boston's on the roster. We don't have great DBs. This is probably going to be a bloodbath, but we do have a softer matchup week 2 against the FCS West. As far as upcoming games after that, Utah State, UTSA, Washington State. This is where the teams hover in the mid 70 overall range, so definitely better than Colorado State, but our schedule does get a little bit softer after San Diego State and Fresno State. Hawaii's at a 72 overall. Wyoming's the only team in the conference that's decidedly worse than the Colorado State Rams. San Jose State after that, and then the bye week schedule post bye week schedule is definitely better. We have Nevada and then another bye week and then Air Force to round out the season. So beginning of the season definitely looks rough. Mid season is kind of a toss up. End of the season is lighter. So hopefully end of the season is where we can scratch closer to that 7-win season goal. But with this roster, it's not looking great, but we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. Hopefully, we can win some recruiting battles. We can at least put forth a good showing against Washington and then get a light game against FCS week 2. So that just about does it for episode 1 of the College Football 26 Colorado State Dynasty Series. Next episode, we're going to take a look at recruiting results, early recruiting results for 35 recruits, and also get in this week 1 bloodbath against Washington. Probably won't be great, but we're going to give it our best shot and see what happens. In any event, thank you for your time and take care.